MAGA snaps after realizing the U.S. is nearly bankrupt. Let's get into this video, but first.
Hype me up. Hype me up. Hype me up.
Hey, man, I know y'all be like, damn, dog, every video? You gonna beg for the hypes every video? Yeah, I told y'all. I need the hypes like a crackhead need a pipe. Let's do this.
Our economy is either going to collapse in the next 6 to 8 months or we're going to print trillions of dollars into our economy. I want to tell you exactly why.
Either way, it's going to be bad. Printing trillions of dollars into the economy is going to cause mass inflation, and you're going to feel just as broke as the country being bankrupt in the first place. So it's all bad. Everything I've been doing is all bad. We got a war in Iraq, and I was trying to turn that into like a Usher parody. Never mind. Let's just get back into this video.
I'm not going to edit this. There's 3 F's: the foundation, the fuel, and the fire. I'm going to tell you who's holding the match and who's putting the fuel there, but let's talk about the foundation real quick. It's the 3 Ds: the debt, the deficit, and the dollar. The debt is growing, the deficit's growing, and the dollar is weakening. It had the worst opening 8 months of a year in the last 52 years.
All under President Trump's tutelage. All in his administration, all under his direct supervision. Receipts.
Dollar is weakening. What does this mean? It means that your dollar is worth less. All while a part of that foundation, we've had 5 years of consistent cumulative inflation that we believe the Fed is underreporting, and a job market that is waning. Job market specifically for college grads now showing that a 9% unemployment rate for those with a degree is normal, and a 49% underemployment rate for.
And I hope he doesn't forget about the 92K job loss in February, which they will revise soon if they haven't already, and we know that it's going to be a bloodbath. So let's see if he mentions that.
Those with a degree under 30 is normal. And to finalize the foundation, we also know that everything is just generically more expensive, whether you're getting insurance, a car, or a home. Now the fuel. Now, I made a video back in April on Liberation Day, actually the day after Liberation Day, having watched it, realizing I just watched the first domino fall in what could be the largest economic collapse we've ever seen. And the reason for that is countries, consumers, and companies. Countries got a slap in the face collectively all at the same time with this new thing that they had no clue was coming, or at least at this amount. Companies now have to pay a higher amount to import these goods, leaving them less liquidity to potentially create jobs, to potentially lower prices. They have to make as much money as they can because they're paying a higher price too. And the consumer.
Wait. Let's not start pulling out the violin for these companies. They are not without fault. They are not moral compared to Trump either. These companies are the same companies, whether or not tariffs are in place, will outsource jobs to other countries, will close down factories, will slash thousands of jobs, and don't give a shit about the people who work there, none of the medical bills that their family has, nothing. So yeah, we can't give them. I know this ain't no pity party for these corporations now.
The consumer is going to be paying more because it is going to get passed through the consumer. And in a world where inflation is high and wages are low, this is detrimental. Now clock this one in with me, because this. Yeah.
Someone please tag me when Mr. Global talks about this. I am just curious, what are the actual ramifications for those of us who live and work in the United States?
Yeah, everyone's freaking out about this insolvency thing. Here's the thing. You're already living it. You're already seeing the ramifications. Ooh. You're already seeing all of it every day. You have been for quite a few years, actually, because the United States has been insolvent for a very long time. Yeah, this isn't a new thing at all in any way, shape, or form. But as far as what you can expect to see going forward is just more of the same that you're seeing right now. Yeah, basically what I mean is more things costing more money that most people can't afford. Yes, houses, food, electricity, all of it, pretty much all of it. More debt across everyone in the nation, more debt in the country, just everything that is happening, continuing to happen, and getting worse and worse and worse.
It'll be one thing if we were accruing debt in order to help the people. Like if we were going into debt in order to give us universal health care, to give our kids better resources, schools, better quality lifestyles, things of that nature, then yeah, it would be justified. But we go into debt for stupid things. We go into debt in order to enrich rich people. We go into debt in order to make the politicians happier. That's what we do. We don't go into debt to help the American people, dog. Because if that was the case, everything would work itself out and we wouldn't be complaining as much because, all right, we in debt, but shit, this debt is benefiting me.
Yes. I mean, I was freaking out about this 10 or 15 years ago. What are we going to do? This is not sustainable. So no, just It's nothing new. It's nothing new. It's just you're hearing about it for the first time.
So I have had the question enough times now that I need to respond to it. So I did the post about the U.S. government being insolvent earlier and that the Treasury had put out that notification. So I had been seeing articles quite a bit lately about the IRS delaying refunds. And I asked myself, I wonder why they're delaying it. Do they just not have enough people? What's going on here?
They spent all your money.
Well, I think I have my answer now. If we don't have enough money to meet our debt obligations, that would also include things like tax refunds. But it also might include federal worker salaries. It might include other kinds of funding that happens to the states. I don't honestly know the entire ramification of it, but insolvency is basically bankruptcy. We're broke. And instead of making sure that we could fix it, like passing bills to make corporations pay more because they have the money, they're making banner profits. We don't make enough.
The problem is, how you going to screw people who are funding your campaigns? How you going to screw the people who lobby? How you going to screw the people who own you? Because when those people give you $150 million, you're their bitch now. And Trump is the bitch of a lot of people. So he got to work for them. And they're not us. It is what it is. There's no way on God's green earth that you can logically, intelligently come to the conclusion that someone who donated a politician $150 million because he's rich as hell, he's in the oil field, that he doesn't expect a return on his money. He doesn't expect some type of break, a tax break, incentive, something. It makes no logical sense. You gave him something that was free, a vote. That man gave him something that came with some blood, sweat, and tears, $150 million. So he gonna act in that man's best interest. And that's why I don't understand these people, bro. They're never gonna look out for us opposed to the people who gave him money. It's really that simple, man. Look who is giving these politicians money. That's who they work for.
You and I, the average Joe, we don't make enough to offset the insolvency problem. And if they don't do something quick, a lot of things are going to start dominoing. So if you go out and search, you'll see that there's a lot of notifications about the IRS tax refunds being delayed. That would be a very identifiable item of, I don't have the money, I can't pay you.
That's
Next up is, why have they not passed the TSA thing? Have you asked yourself that question?
True.
Because he blocked a perfectly good measure yesterday. Is it because he's trying to not pay federal workers? He's been cutting all the programs to all the U.S. citizens.
I heard that Elon Musk dirt ass was trying to step in and pay TSA. Doesn't make me a fan of him, but shit, spend your money. Get these people paid. Or stop paying ICE and allocate those funds to TSA. Because we don't really need ICE like that, bro. Straight like that.
And then he said he wanted like $200 billion to fight his whatever war. The distraction, I think, has been, my policies are bad. I've bankrupted the company or the country just like I have all of my
you said it right. The company of the United States is a corporation.
Companies. Now what? And I really don't know the extent of it all.
Yeah, but like I said, man, these corporations who donated millions of dollars and billions collectively, that's who your politicians are actually working for. So if you think that they're coming to save you, I got another thing coming for you, partner. It literally makes no sense, bro. Just think about it like this. If you were to open up a business and I invested into your business, just to say you needed 50 grand, you needed the 50 and I had it. Do you think I'm not going to have some say so in your business? I wouldn't even give it to you unless I had an explicit statement on paper saying that this is what I get in return. And it may not be on paper, but I have to have a way to collect what's mine, straight up.
Insolvent. And the people who will feel it first are the ones who voted for this. And in case you don't know what insolvent means, baby, I'll put it here on the screen for you. It means bankrupt, unable to pay its debt. That's right. By America's own treasury numbers, we in fact are insolvent.
Wait, hold on. Is the United States insolvent? Technically, the United States is not insolvent in the legal sense. It has not declared bankruptcy or defaulted on its debt, but by strict accounting definition, liabilities vastly exceeding assets. Many economists in analysis say the federal government is effectively insolvent in net worth terms. Yeah, it's kind of like how they move the goalposts with the recession things, right? If you look at the technical definition of a recession, I think 2 or more quarters of negative GDP growth, that constitutes a recession, but they never declared it, right? And this could be the same thing. It's kind of like when that guy meets a girl and the girl asks him, are you in a relationship? And he says, nah, me and my girl broke up, but I still live with her. You're not calling a spade, sir. Let's be real. Y'all still together, nigga. You trying to get them yams on the side. You ain't shit. That's what the United States is doing, bro.
$47 trillion in liabilities, $6 trillion in assets. And I want to talk about exactly who that's going to affect first, because the answer just
Black
might
folks.
shock you. Now, according to Pew Research, 67% of the people that voted for Trump do not have a college degree. According to Brookings Institution, 66% of white working class Americans backed Trump in 2024. And the Economics Innovation Group, baby, they found that the more economically stressed a county was, the more it swung Trump's way.
Which is crazy because, you know, I'm sorry to say this, but like, you know, when you start thinking about these red states in the middle of nowhere, America, there are usually some dummies around there, and they're not the smartest people. They usually rank lowest in the education. They usually don't have anything out there, and there's a reason why they haven't been that productive as a group of people, because they're stupid. And these are the main ones who are susceptible to the bullshit in the game that people like Donald Trump spit. And that's my theory on that shit, man. I don't think they're that bright. That's what I don't think. I think they stupid.
Are we surprised? The man said he loves the poorly educated. So yeah, the people that were already hurting the most voted for this. This would make the United States of America his 7th bankruptcy, his 7th failed business venture. Failed for everybody else, not him. Because he's made how much since being president? Now, please understand, this is not going to affect billionaires, hedge funds, trust funds. Now, please understand, this will not affect the billionaires. This will not affect Wall Street, hedge funds, none of that. But it most certainly will affect working class Americans. Social Security, baby, that trust is set to deplete in 2032. That is only 6 years away. And when that trust depletes, federal law mandates a 28% cut to Social Security benefits. That means some of y'all, Meemaw and Papaw, ain't gonna be getting their Social Security checks. You know who else depends on Social Security? People who don't have pensions, people who don't have 401ks.
Which is most of the people in them poor ass, country ass, sundown town ass places that voted for Trump. Y'all ain't got none of that shit. You're too stupid. Niggas don't work no jobs where they give you a match program, 401k, health benefits. Man, you people walking around with teeth missing. Man, I seen one of them country hillbillies the other day chewing a pork chop with 1 tooth on the top and 3 on the bottom. Man, dude was chewing for 3 business days.
People who spent 40-something years depending on that money, and now the government's going to be telling you, sorry. The people who have spent 40-something years putting into that system, working every goddamn day of their lives, and the government is going to cut those benefits you've been depending on for your older times of your life. And then, honey, you got Medicare. The Medicare fund has similar projections to the Social Security fund. People who cannot afford private health insurance depend on Medicare. Medicaid cuts are already on the table in the one big beautiful bill. The same bill that adds $4.7 trillion to the debt. A debt of a country that's already insolvent. Bankrupt, bitch. See, now, black, brown, indigenous communities, we've been here before. We know what it is to live within a system and have to survive a system that was not built to benefit you. We know what it is to make $50 stretch to feed a family of 6. We know what it is to work multiple jobs and have to figure out how you're going to pay each bill by doing odd jobs on the side or taking up a side hustle or 2 while maintaining your 9 to 5. Because here's where y'all should be real concerned. The people who are about to feel this for the first time do not have the same survival skills.
Ooh.
Because for decades, they have been told that this system works for them.
You better talk your shit.
That their Social Security was secure and that Medicare was guaranteed. That those manufacturing jobs were coming back and that this country was going to be great again.
Voting against your best interest, goddammit. Hey, man, I like her. Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful black woman right there. Listen, check this out, though. I think at this point in time, because a couple years ago when I was watching videos, they say that the debt payment on our debt is going to exceed military spending, which was about, I think, $4 trillion a year. Let's see what it is right now. In 2026, how much are we spending on military in the United States? And then compare that to how much money we are spending on our debt payments. It got to be more at this point. In 2026, the United States is spending about $1 trillion or slightly more on the military, while projected interest payments on the national debt are also around $1 trillion for the year, which is crazy. My numbers was wrong, but I knew that it was at the point where they were basically what and what. The Trump administration has pushed the 2026 defense budget toward roughly $1 trillion, which is basically 1,000 billion. Approving over $900 billion in the annual defense bill and additional spending, bringing the total above $1 trillion. This represents about 3.3% of GDP, is one of the largest defense top lines in U.S. history. This man just be making history left and right, and never in a good way. Debt interest payments in 2026. The Congressional Budget Office and fiscal policy groups project that net interest payments on the national debt will total about $1 trillion in fiscal year 2026, roughly 3.3% of the GDP. That means interest on the debt is now on par with total defense spending and is projected to grow faster than almost every other budget category, eventually surpassing defense and Medicare over the next decade. Thank you, Trump. What would we have ever done without all of these problems that you've given us? What would we be doing right now?
Good morning. It's just about 9:40 out here on the West Coast.
Tight shit.
And it is March 24th, and I have a bit of bad news. Well,
talk to me.
The country never cared about this anyways, so but I'm gonna say this because I saw this headline and I read the article and holy fuck. So let me run through it. So this is on Fortune magazine. Fortune website and Yahoo Finance are the first two, and there's several others when I did another search on it. And as I'm looking at my notes, because I took notes on this one, here's the headline. The Treasury just declared the U.S. insolvent. The media missed it.
Wow. Why Perplexity didn't tell me that? That's interesting. Can't trust AI all the time. But search the internet. Did the Treasury just declare the U.S. insolvent? All right, guys, you can't just believe everything. The U.S. Treasury did not issue a press release or formal statement saying the United States is insolvent, but recent analysis of the Treasury's own consolidated financial statements for fiscal year 2025 has led some economists and commentators to argue that by a strict accounting definition, the federal government is effectively insolvent. I'll go by that. All day, every day. Yeah, we're losers. We're gonna just flat out say it? Nah, I doubt it. Them people got too much pride and ego to admit the truth. Hey, bro, look, man, we've been fucking around and we've been found out. They're not gonna tell us that until it's so abundantly clear that they don't have no choice but to tell us. And at that point, it's just water under the bridge.
So let me go through some of the numbers as I move this a little bit so I can look down at my notes a little bit.
All right, look at your notes.
Awkwardly. 6.06 trillion in assets. 47.78 trillion in liabilities. This is as of September 30, 2025.
All right.
Does not include unfunded obligations of just over $2 trillion, or what they're calling the off-balance sheet. I'll leave you to go to the websites and, to Yahoo Finance and Fortune. Do the search of what was it? Treasury insolvency. That's the one. This is because of multiple reasons. Yes, spending is out of fucking control. But the other thing is that we are not taxing those that are able to pay their taxes. Plain and simple. I'm going to refer you back to the Clinton years. The Clinton years, they raised the top earners to 39%. And the administration fought with Congress over spending and this, that, and the other thing. But when he left, there was a budget surplus because not only did they cut spending, but they raised revenue. And then when W came in, he blew it up because he gave us tax cuts that we didn't fucking need. And I remember reading articles of rich people saying, what am I going to do with this extra money? Am I going to build another dance studio for my kid? So we know how to fix this. Nobody's willing to do it. Oh, and I'm going to do this in another video, but if Elon Musk is willing to pay TSA agents, maybe he should pay some extra fucking taxes. Just saying.
Ooh, you got all this money, man. You just got money stockpiled, huh? You liquid like a mother. Pay your taxes. Nah, we're not going to do that. That defeats the purpose. Yeah, guys. Well, anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, man. Hope you learned something. And don't forget to
Hype me up. Hype me up. Hype me up.